This generation beats.
This is Nosey with Good Intentions, the podcast.
In every nook and cranny.
This is Michael
and Kirk. Guiding your noses today.
That worked.
You know, we hadn't used the recording in a long time.
Yes.
Has anybody missed the recording?
I don't know.
Comment below. Here on YouTube. Thanks for watching.
And subscribe.
And if you're listening, thanks for listening.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
What's your Raptors quote for today?
Well, you know, a couple of months ago, we talked about Victoria Monet. Mm-hmm. And she had a song called Oh My Mama.
Yeah, I like that song.
And today I had one of those weird moments where I was listening to random songs and Saucy Santana and Light Skin Keisha, Back It Up and Dump It came on.
I feel like I've heard that before.
I played it for you about 2 years ago. I did not realize the bridge of that song is On My Mama, on my hood. I look fly, I look good. And I thought, how funny this like, you know how you have that moment where you're like, oh, we're just recycling stuff. Okay, that's right. That's what I had forgotten. That
it's from an old, I think it's on a 3 6 Mafia song. That line is from. So both of them are borrowing.
That sounds like the Moth. That sounds like them.
The Moth.
Don't you? It does sort of sound like them.
It does. It sounds like one of their chants because they're known for their chants, fight music.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom. I think it's a sample of that, actually, the Victoria Monet one.
Maybe.
It might be. I don't like her new song, though.
I don't like any of her other songs.
Okay, so it's not just me. Okay, I don't like the new song. It's.
I don't like any of them. I hate it for her.
Right.
Because part of me is like, so, you know, Light Skin Keisha is in Back It Up and Dump It. And I love her part. It's my favorite part of the whole song. So, like, some other of her songs come up as, like, recommended. And I was like,
no, thank you.
None of these are all that good. And it's sort of like, I wonder why. What makes it not good? You know what I mean? What makes you have this moment where Saucy seems like he can't do any wrong, and
he had his
and Light Skin Keisha, who's funny, she has a good personality. She has this one moment in a Saucy Santana song, and the rest of it. Now, other people might like them, but I don't.
Not about Victoria Monet. I don't like her other songs.
I also don't like any of her other music either.
Yeah, Light Skin Keisha has a good personality though. She displays her personality on social media.
Yeah,
but I don't actually know any of her songs.
I couldn't tell you any of them, but I did listen to a few today.
You weren't impressed, clearly.
I don't know. Like, part of me is like, what makes Nikki? Like, what made Nikki rise above the rest all those years ago and is still, sort of maintained whatever.
Better music.
What sort of made Cardi pop out there for a little while and what made Megan pop out there for a little while? Megan's sort of having her moment now, but like, I love Megan. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but probably a year and a half ago, I was like, everybody's sleeping on Megan. Megan's going to be the new Nikki. I said that on this podcast. And now I'm like,
I was wrong.
I might have been wrong about that, but she's having a moment right now. I appreciate that for her.
She got a new album coming out.
So far, of the songs that I've heard,
you're not crazy about it.
We could just skip this one.
You heard it first. Album reviews by Nosey.
Well, you know what I mean. It's just sort of one of those things where I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I love Christina Aguilera. And she would take years to release a new album. And sometimes I'd be like, this is what you've been working on all these years?
Right.
But for the most part, like, I liked the stuff that she did. And part of me is like, maybe I should take a minute and, like, have new life experiences to rap about.
Well, a lot of artists tend to not be as hungry once they've made it because they're not broke anymore.
Maybe.
So, yeah, it happens.
Give me money.
Will you keep the hunger?
I'm always hungry. Listen, we do this for free.
We do.
I drove down here today for free. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, here we sit 3 years later.
Yes.
Still talking talking out of our asses. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, hope you've been listening this whole time.
I wonder how many people have been.
I'd love to know. We need a good email. We hadn't had one in a
That
while.
would be cool.
Nosey with good intentions at gmail.com. Well, it's been a minute. What's been on your mind?
Speaking of, what do you think of individualism versus groupthink? Do you think either?
Give me an example.
Yeah.
Why don't we start with groupthink? What do you think about groupthink?
Okay, when Young Jeezy's first album came out, everybody and their mom was like, "It's so amazing, it's amazing," and I deliberately was like, "I'm not listening to it because I don't want to like it just because everybody else likes it."
Yeah.
And then about 3 years later, I listened to it and I was like, "This shit is amazing. What the fuck was wrong with me?" And it was a really amazing album. Or even when it gets to political beliefs, and obviously we're not very political on here at all, but
if at all.
yeah. But I noticed that people almost have a fear of being an individual.
Okay.
And they follow the crowd and the group think so that they get those likes and high fives. But then at the same time, I think that people believe that they're being individual.
Yeah.
Even though they're just doing what everybody else is doing. I think going out of your way to be unique or different or an individual is kind of following the group. Does that make sense? People are like, I'm going to be different, even though being different is...
I missed that railroad track for a half a second, and I did not get back on. I need you to say that again. I missed that.
Okay, people are like, I'm going to be unique and do something different from the crowd, even though doing that is kind of the thing now.
Uh-huh. Oh, I gotcha. Okay, I'm with you now. Yeah.
Like if I'm going to
you tried, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if that's... So which one do you think is better or worse, or is there kind of no better or worse?
Well, I'm sure there's pros and cons to both. I mean, I would say like I think it's good that we all seem to agree that you shouldn't just kill someone for no reason.
I don't think we all agree, but the majority.
Most. I would say, most of us are like, don't just walk out of your door and kill the first person you see with no reason to whatsoever.
Okay.
But I also like the fact that we as a group go, there are reasons to kill someone.
Right.
But I also I like the fact that people say similar things in different ways. Like, I think recently we talked about very briefly, I love Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey both. I think they're both valuable to, if you're wanting to learn about money and how money works in our country. But if you listen to Susie and you're like, I don't understand that.
I don't get it.
And you listen to Dave and you're like, oh, I get it. I'm sort of the opposite. Like, I listened to Susie and I was like, oh, okay, I get what you're saying. So now if I hear Dave talk about it,
makes sense.
I now get it, but I didn't before. But some people like the way that Dave says it. Some people like the way that Susie says it. I'm sure there's other people out there that talk about money, So I sort of like that there's sort of a tether, it's sort of almost tethered together like self-help. There's a new book about self-help every week.
Right.
But in a good way, part of that in a good way is if you're a person that's read the last 10 and none of it clicked for you, but this new one does, great. I'm glad it was released.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It's not really saying anything different, but it's saying it in just a different enough way
that it clicks for
that
you.
It makes sense to you.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay. I never thought about it like that. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay. So which one do you prefer?
Well...
Or which lane do you tend to find yourself more often in?
I think I bounce between the two.
Okay.
Depending on which season of life it is. I mean, there are certain things where I'm just like... I'm trying to think of a good example other than death. I'm doing, I have a second job. Mm-hmm. I'm a gravedigger on the side.
You look dead bodies.
I probably will do cremation.
So you're gonna burn up a body?
No, me, my own. I will choose cremation for me.
Okay.
But there's an entire industry if you want to be put in a pretty box
Right.
and put in the ground and have a big stone.
Why cremation? Cost effective?
Yes. And also, like, I'm realizing that we don't have any space for people to continue to be put in the ground.
Well, they'll double stack eventually.
I think they already are.
Probably so, especially married couples.
But I think a lot of it, like, I don't know. It seems like a lot of money for no real reason.
Yeah, it costs a lot to be born and it costs a lot to die.
But I mean, it's sort of like going to visit graves.
Mm-hmm.
Our grandparents' generation, that was like a big thing for them. Our parents' generation, they don't care.
No.
Therefore, we don't care.
No, my dad's parents are probably 15 minutes away, and I haven't been since they got married.
But it's
not
also
in a hateful
like
way, but
no, and it's also like the memories that you have of them. I don't know. Can I ask a weird question?
Okay.
So recently, somebody said something, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but it got me thinking about. I can't conjure an image of my grandparents immediately in my mind.
Okay.
But if I see a picture of them, I know that's them.
Okay.
But if I think of enough memories, I'll find the image in my mind in one of those memories. If that makes sense. Like if somebody goes, like if my mom said, I thought about your grandma today. I'll look at her and I'll go, oh, that's sweet. In my mind, I cannot picture her mother.
At all, or just not like
at all.
A 4K picture?
Like, not at all. Like, even right now talking about it, my mom draws a blank. But if I gave you 3 memories with her, I'll see her.
Oh.
But it takes me really thinking multiple memories, and then all of a sudden I see her again.
I think that's how our memory works. Though we don't actually have
like a photographic memory.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, I definitely don't.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
If you've got one, it ain't this one right here.
No, I don't have one. But I think that's how our memory actually works. Though it's certain. I forgot. I've seen it on something, whether it's a movie or the brief time I bounce around from college to college or whatever. But there's some explanation as to why our memory works like that. We don't actually, like, you can look at that fan and look away. If you give yourself enough time, you see a fan, but there's small details that you don't remember.
Different color.
Yeah, there'll be a slight difference in color or something like that. And as we get specifically for people we love or just people that have passed on, it's been years, putting those details together, our memory takes longer.
Yeah.
And it still is never, unless you have a photographic memory, which is not it's very few people, then it doesn't piece it together exactly how it looks.
Yeah.
So I forgot what it's called. There is a term for it. But I'm just saying, I think that, like I said, I just looked away from that fan. I know it's a circle. I know it has the grates. I know it has the light blue knobs.
Do you know that I forgot that it was a circle?
See? And we just looked at it.
Yeah. I forgot that it was a circle that quick.
Yeah.
Different minds, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I wondered if other people sort of
that's actually pretty normal.
Remembered things in a similar way.
Yeah.
But I think that's like, I love that my memories are not the same as my sister's. I love that her memories are not the same as mine. Mm-hmm. I love that my mom, when me and my mom talk about her parents or my dad's parents or other family members that have passed on, our memories of them are different, but it's the same person.
We also have different experiences, though.
But even a memory that her and I have in common, we see it so differently, not in a bad way.
Right, just from different perspectives.
Just such a different, like when I was a kid, both my parents worked. And so when I was in preschool, my grandmother, my mom's mom, she lived 3 miles from my preschool. And so my dad would drop me off in the morning on his way to work, and my grandmother would pick me up and bring me back to her house, and I would stay there. And she'd read books and, all kinds of stuff when I was in preschool. My mom, when I talk about that, she goes, yeah, you had her wrapped around your finger. She'd do whatever you wanted to do. But in my mind,
it was golden.
My memory with her was she loved to read me stories. And so I would run and get this book and bring it to her. But my mom sees that same thing as I made her read me stories.
Even though you probably
my
didn't
memory
make her.
is
she
loved to read me stories. And so I would bring her that book because I knew that would make her happy.
She probably did enjoy it.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a weird thing that my mom is looking at the exact same memory as I'm looking at, and it's annoying to her, but it's lovely for me. It's a good memory.
Parents
for me.
hate because once their parents become grandparents, they have money and they have now, free time and shit.
And my mother is awful with my nieces. She's horrible.
She's not a great grandma.
No, she is to them what she thinks that her mom was to me, and I go, that's not how me and grandma hung out.
What you mean? She be fussing and shit?
Like, she'll wait on them hand and foot.
What's wrong with that?
Grandma did not do that for me.
Oh.
She thinks that's what Mama did for me.
What did she do?
We did it together.
Oh, okay.
We went into the kitchen together. We got stuff together. Sometimes I would bring her stuff. You know what I mean? Alone. Like, I would go get something and be like, do you want anything? And she'd be like, oh, sure, and I'd bring her something or whatever from the kitchen. It wasn't anything big.
Yeah.
But my mom's memory of that, and she wants to be like her mom, but she thinks that's, and I'm like, that ain't how she treated me. You're terrible.
Oh, she lets them get away with murder.
Oh, they'll lay there and do nothing. She'll bring them whatever they want, but for some reason she thinks that's what her mother did for me, and I'm like,
no,
you're wrong, sweetie pie. You're wrong.
Oh Lord. Well, I mean, I don't know. They say grandparents have money when they become grandparents. All of a sudden, they have free time,
which is true. Like, my mom is retired,
right?
And she retired for the youngest.
What?
So I have 3 nieces.
Right.
When they were babies, my oldest 2 are like 16 and a half months apart, somewhere in there. And so they went to this lady who babysat them every day, until they went to school, until they started school. When my youngest niece, there's a 7-year gap, 8-year gap in between the first 2 and the third.
Damn. Okay.
Oops, baby.
Okay.
Joyful blessing. Surprise gift. Whatever words you want to use. But my mom was getting close to retirement. And so instead of my youngest niece going to the same lady,
she goes
like her
house.
sisters, grandmother decided she'd retire. So she went to Mama's house. So of course she's spoiled rotten. But because she was retired, like my grandmother was, I would, she'd come get me from preschool and I'd go to her house and we'd do stuff together and hang out. And so, she's trying to do that, or has been doing that with my youngest niece. So, I mean,
groupthink.
Copying from the past what she thinks happened in the past.
So do you think, well, that's a groupthink concept, though, that grandparents have all this money and free time, which I think is actually accurate.
Depends on how old the grandparent is.
I think that's a good case, too. Most grandparents, I can say most, I would like to assume a lot of grandparents have paid off their house or are close to paying off their house, and they're retired, and they probably do have more disposable income because they're not buying, they do it, but they do it willy-nilly versus out of obligation because it's not their kids, it's their grandkids. So they might buy a little extra on Christmas because they don't have to buy.
Well, but you also have to think about this. A lot of people that I know in the county, in the OG, let's say you had your kid at 20.
Okay. Give it to you.
Your kid is now 20.
So you're 40.
And they have a kid. you're a grandparent, but you're only 40.
I'm 39.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got your shit paid off at 40.
Fuck no, just bought this bitch last year.
But what I'm saying is, like...
Oh, our generation ain't paying off houses
my
that
mom,
fast.
Well, but see, my mom was the youngest by far of 4. Like, my mom is so much younger than my oldest 2 aunts that their kids are the same age as my mom.
Literally?
Like,
give or take.
Off a couple of years. But only like 5 years difference.
I mean, I'm 40 years older than baby uncle.
You're not baby uncle. You're a baby uncle.
No, I'm old. I'm
the
40
baby's not baby uncle.
I'm 40 years older than
you're
baby
big
uncle.
brother.
Yeah, but to my kids and my sister's kids, that's baby uncle.
To them.
Yeah,
I got you.
I'm 39 years old. He ain't even 1.
Y'all probably will never know each other.
Pretty much. If we do know each other,
that weird?
it'll be in passing. Hi, little bro. What's up, man? I'm going to carry him. What am I going to do with him?
Well, the problem is when he's 40, you'll be 80.
Yes. And 23 years away from death. 22. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, you can't push further. I'm barely going to make it.
Yeah, I'm 102, baby. But
I'm running currently, trying to make sure I can make it to 103.
Maybe that's groupthink things, though. Having babies in your 40s. No?
I think that's one-offs.
You think so?
Well, because I think a lot of people are realizing that they don't have to have a baby at 20.
Of course.
And they probably should wait till 30, 33, 35.
But you can find a group for both trains of thought. You can find a group that's like
I think a lot more people are doing that, though.
Have them earlier or later?
Later. Well, because I think a lot of it was when for our grandparents, what were your options? You graduated high school. Nobody could afford to go to college unless you like really had money.
Right.
Or you were like, you had a scholarship of some kind. So, like, I learned recently. Well, I learned recently that half of probably more than half of my mom's mother, her siblings couldn't read.
When you were born?
Like, my grandmother and like 2 of her sisters were the only 3 that knew how to read. She was number 10 of 11 kids. So 9, 10, and 11 were young enough that they got to go to school longer, and so they learned how to read. But 1 through 8 couldn't read.
The fuck?
Because they didn't go to school that long.
Oh, they didn't get past.
So they didn't get to the reading stage. They were, they needed, school wasn't important.
Oh, you need these bodies to go work this farm or whatever.
Work the farm, take care of the whatever it was. Mm-hmm. School was an afterthought. School was a privilege. So I mean, you think like that was only 2 generations ago.
That's a hot mess.
I mean, you think
that's wild.
But even people my parents' age, school still wasn't. It was more important than it was to my grandparents, but a lot of them don't know how to read either.
Well, I will say this: all of my grandparents can read.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, but again, if you think about from the Black perspective, school was very important because
we preach education.
Generations couldn't even go to school.
Allowed to learn, for the most part.
Banned.
Learn how to pick this cotton.
Forbidden. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's even more important depending on, my grandparents didn't care.
They could talk.
Like, I have letters from both of my grandparents. Misspelled.
Like, horribly?
Terrible handwriting. They didn't, it just didn't matter.
Right. It didn't impact their livelihood.
It just wasn't.
Now groupthink has shifted to education.
But now it's shifting away.
Is it?
It's shifting away again because.
I think it's shifting away from structured education, like college.
You owe this money for what?
And you never pay off.
A master's in business, and you do what for work?
Yeah.
Like my cousin, who is very smart, has a master's in business.
It doesn't run a business.
Sells flowers.
Do they own a flower business?
No. They sell flowers to big box stores.
Like
the flowers that you see when you walk in the big box store, they come from his company that he works for and sells flowers.
So is he the manager of this company?
No, he's the flower seller of the company in this region.
So he's a salesman.
Correct.
I'm sure.
But I'm like, you have a master's in business,
but you sell flowers
to sell flowers.
Right. It doesn't really translate.
I'm not diminishing his selling flowers. He seems to very much enjoy it and seems very good
but
at it.
He could have did that without going to school.
I'm thrilled for him. I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
But I just need us to remember as a group think he has a master's in business.
But just because you graduate doesn't make you good at it. Not him specifically, but
I think for him specifically, he was good at it. I think the difference is what is a master's in business?
I don't know.
But you get what I'm saying. It's sort of like they still have a master's for business.
Yeah.
It's still there. People are graduating this semester with their master's in business.
And they're starting entry level, not managing any businesses.
Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? You're at the entry level job at the Gravedigger with me.
Yes.
I don't have a master's in business, but we're working side by side making the same amount of money.
But the catch is, though, I think
that's what is shifting in the group thing.
I agree with that. But I think part of that, the problem might be, is because a lot of the jobs that these degrees based on paper should make you qualified for, you have to have some job experience. And I think a lot of people are not actually going out seeking these types of jobs before they graduate. I think they're going, I've got a master's in business management, hire me, I should make six figures. But you haven't done anything except go to school your whole life. Say you're 22 or whatever. You have no life experience. So you might could go in there and be like, I have this paper that says I went to school for 6 to 8 years, but you don't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
You don't know how to apply this piece of paper. So you have a piece of paper and
we're old.
Yes.
You know when we say this, we're old.
What was that?
You got this piece of paper, 22-year-old, but you don't know how to apply it.
I mean, it's true.
It sounds just like my dad.
Is it not true?
It is. We know this now as old bitches. But did we know that at 22?
I probably did, which is probably why I didn't go to school.
I graduated from stripping school.
Yeah, but you actually got a job in that field.
Well, but I graduated from stripping school at 25.
Okay.
I had a little detour for a while. At 25, I dare you to tell me that I didn't just kill that job more than the 48-year-old that's been doing it for 22 years just did it.
I can see you being like that.
Do you know what I'm saying, though? You couldn't tell me because I did it.
Right.
I was requested. They were no longer requested. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me I didn't do that shit because I know I just did that.
It comes to you naturally, though. I'll say
but
that.
You know what I'm saying, though? Like, this chick over here, she's been doing this for 22 years.
But just because you do it for a long time don't mean you've been doing it a good job.
Which is also like, I think sometimes college, because it makes you think critically, you tend to approach a job in a different way than someone that never learned how to think critically.
Explain.
Well, so like my dad used to complain about these guys that would graduate from college and they would show up at the mill.
Why do you go to college to work at the mill?
Well, because they would come in as management.
Oh, okay.
So instead of, so my dad, my dad didn't do this, but let's just say my dad as an example. Let's say him and Jim graduated high school together, and Jim went to college, and my dad goes into the mill. My dad starts at level 1. Jim comes back 4 years later with a bachelor's in Googa
Right, Googa.
My dad, in those 4 years,
has OJT of 4 years. He does. He has on-the-job training.
Which is not OJT. It's OTJ.
Is it?
On-job the?
I thought it was on-the-job training.
Oh.
OJT.
I thought it was.
No, the is silent. They tried to get me out.
No,
OJT, on-the-job training.
Because you said OJT training.
Oh, I did?
I don't know. Maybe you did in my head. So anyway, I was going on job the training.
No, on the job training.
The training. Have you had on job the training?
OJT, y'all.
OTJT.
But yeah, who's more valuable to you?
But what was happening was, so 4 years later, here comes Jim to the same place.
And start off higher.
He's starting at level 5. My dad has just made it to level 4.
He's been there 4 years.
And he's been there 4 years. Yeah. But Jim starts at level 5.
But people aren't starting at level 5 now.
But then they were.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So this shift, so now my dad is seeing this happen to his friends, not him. And so our generation comes and they're like, you're going to college, period.
Yeah, I want my kids to go to college.
End of discussion. But what happened is we all went to college. Well, now we all owe money and there's no jobs for all of us to do. Right. So you may have, here's my cousin. He's got a master's in business selling flowers. Because he graduated with 1,000 other people with a master's for business. Because our generation
went to school.
Were required to go to college. Yeah. So now what's happening is the response to that as a group is we're now going,
what the fuck I'm going to college for?
That was dumb.
Yeah. I have debt.
Now we all owe this money that we're struggling to pay back, depending on each individual what we're doing. Yeah. So now your kids and my nieces, their generation, we're going, listen, you ain't going to college for master's in basket weaving.
Right.
You're going to college for a trade.
Yeah, learn an actual job.
Learn a job.
Because business, don't get wrong.
So that's what shifted.
Yeah, business management degrees are valuable.
Yeah.
But if you don't apply it, or if you don't really have the industry you want to manage down to us, not
because the industry is cold. He let his daughter know.
I've got a master's in business management, but you have no idea what business lane you even want to manage, then it doesn't really help. Because you could have, not you, but a person could say their major is bachelor's or master's in business management. And then you could take a minor, if you wanted to become a manager of, I don't know, Tesla plant. You could major in, or you could minor in some type of electrical engineering because everything that they make is, see what I'm saying? So I think if you're going to go to school for a specific major, just add a minor that will specialize in, and we don't all know we don't know at the 1 year mark or the 4 year mark sometimes. But if you have at least some idea, add something that will narrow down which industry you're going to quote unquote manage. And I think people are doing these vague bachelors. Yes.
Of the group thing.
This is true. Now that somebody heard that, might create some group thing. Because that's what I wanted. I hopefully teach my kids. Huh?
I missed what you said in between belches.
Oh, I said that will become the group think.
It will.
Yeah.
It will become the group thing. Yeah. But not in a negative way, in a positive way.
I think group think can be good. I think group think is bad when you sit in the echo chamber and talk shit, and then you love that 20,000 people agree with you because they're scared to not agree.
Because they might get canceled.
Yeah. Even that's not a real thing.
It's not. Nah. And I think now we know it's not.
Yeah, people don't give a fuck now. Well, I ain't gonna say don't give a fuck. They give less fucks.
I don't think they're as scared.
Nah. Unless you really, unless you're Kevin Hart and you have a wholesome, family-oriented brand, even though he cusses, but his comedy is not raunchy and...
Is his wholesome?
Yeah, he does family movies. Movies you could take your family to, not Disney movies. You don't think so?
I think I missed that.
Yeah, he does rom-coms and stuff like that. Those are family-oriented movies.
Does he?
Yeah, he did Ride Along 1 and 2, which is kind of a it's not quite a rom-com.
Is that a rom-com? I did not think so when I watched them.
Maybe not a rom-com, but that specifically is a comedy. Think Like a Man is a romantic comedy. 1 and 2.
You think that's a comedy?
Think Like a Man.
It was a comedy, sorry. You think that's a romantic comedy?
Think Like a Man.
maybe I'm thinking of the wrong
Yeah,
movie.
he even reunites with his with the Wendy Williams plays his wife on the phone. They end up back together at the very end of the movie. Everybody ends up together. Even the movie with Regina King or Regina Hall. I'm forgetting which Regina. But
Because they look the same. All Reginas look the same.
He's so stupid. My homeboy mama name is Regina. He was pissed when we found out her name. Because you got your mama jokes. This is back in 2000. But yeah, he was mad when we found out. Well, not when I found out her name. I didn't give a fuck. But
why was he mad?
Because when you know somebody's mama's name, you start cracking more mama jokes. You can use the name to make jokes.
Oh. What would be a joke with Regina?
I don't know, but it'd be something stupid and blah, blah, blah. That ain't what Regina said. Shit like that. Like just being a smart ass.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But
Regina ain't been saying that.
Exactly. Shit like that. Like I didn't care if people knew my mama's name. But no, I mean a lot of his
Did you ever say, you don't know what my mama said? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I had that luxury that others did not. But no, yeah, a lot of his movies.
What'd my mama say?
He does a lot of comedy movies that are like PG-13. The movie with The Rock.
Was it?
It ain't rated R.
I think it might be.
Is it? They're still family type movies. They're like date movies.
A lot of those movies are rated R.
No, like Get Hard, Get Hard, excuse me. The one with Will Ferrell.
Get Hard was the porn version of that.
Absolutely. The Get Hard with Will Ferrell. He's got a movie where he has a daughter and like the mom dies during childbirth. That's on Netflix. It's a good movie. It's sad. But that's more of a...
Okay.
Is it a rock? I wouldn't call that
maybe now that he's gotten older, maybe he's shifting in, sort of like The Rock, sort of shifting into that lane as well.
Action hero, yeah. Not Kevin Hart, but The Rock.
Yeah. I kind of would like to see Kevin as an action hero. I think he could
cut that shit out.
I think that he would
5'4" action hero.
But I think that he would be a good. This is going to sound bad, but like Ant-Man, I think he would bring a humor to that. Do you know what I mean? Or like,
he's already Ant-Man in real life. He's like 5'2".
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think he would be. It's sort of like is it Deadpool that's funny?
Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
It's sort of like that.
He's a smart ass.
I think that Kevin could also, because I mean, let's be honest, if they can make Tom Cruise look like he's 6'3", they can make Kevin look taller. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but we
movie
know
magic. But what I'm saying is, they could in a movie
at least make him look less short.
If your daughters watch that movie, they wouldn't know that Kevin was 5'2". You know what I mean? They would know that from you.
Right.
But this generation, they wouldn't know that Kevin was short.
Like Vin Diesel's shorter than The Rock, but because they shoot it better.
Like Vin Diesel, when he's not movie ready,
he's a big ass pile of melting ice cream.
Who is she?
He look horrible.
Who is she?
And he don't really get that ripped for the movie nowadays. He just is less melted. It's lifted. They lift the ice cream up and throw a girl on the
They lick it again, get it right together.
Then when he done filming, he's like, whoosh. They just unbuckle the faja.
They get that corset wrapped. He be looking fine though when they get that corset on there though.
Man, what that motherfucker? They suck all that shit in and throw him in a Charger and drive fast, and then he takes the seatbelt off and he rips the faja off and all that shit melts down his leg.
Yeah, they do something with that camera. They fix his shit real quick.
Yeah, supposedly he stands on like the few Fast and Furious where him and The Rock were in it. He stood on like little crazy.
But if you look. Like now
the
that you
like
know,
6'4". He ain't no
go
little
back.
dude.
No.
The Rock's tall.
He a big motherfucker.
I think Vin Diesel on like 5'8".
She's not short.
No, it's not. It's not average height either.
It's higher than I think 5'7" is.
Is it? I thought like 5'11" was average height. I might be wrong. I thought 5'10", 5'11".
I don't think so. No, that's not.
I'm
true.
above average height. Hey.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I'll take it. I'm rolling with your answer.
It might be 5'8".
I think it seems short.
I think the average female height is only 5'4", 5'5".
Well, my daughter's 5'8", so
my grandmother was 6 foot.
Damn, for real?
Yeah. My dad's mom.
Your dad's tall as fuck too.
Yeah. My mom's mom was 5'2", 1 for most of her life, but then like with osteoporosis, she got down to like 4'10".
Damn.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to be that
tiny granny. I called her tiny granny.
You picked her up. I love you, granny.
I used to sit on her lap.
How with your big tall ass?
She'd read me a story.
You were not thin and you were tall.
Oh shit. Not bringing my weight.
You used to sit on your tiny grandmother's lap.
Tiny granny.
I would have kicked you off my lap. Get your fat ass off of me.
Well,
I love you though.
that sounds like a black granny.
Absolutely.
My granny was a little white tea granny.
Yes, my grandma will definitely tell you about yourself. And
She was like,
fix you
this
a
sapsucker
sweater.
trying to kill me.
Man, my dad used to grease my scalp like 3 times a week. And she used to be like, Mikey, now you know I greased your scalp the other day. Get your ass in there and get the grease. She greased my scalp though.
Yeah.
Every time.
What does that mean, grease your scalp?
Well, I used to always have hair like plaits and braids and cornrows. So she would part it and put the grease in the middle.
Okay.
No,
I just wondered. I did that one time for my niece.
Your nieces ain't black.
She has very dry. So my brother-in-law has pretty severe eczema.
Oh, okay.
And
Hers
my oldest niece and my youngest niece have a variation on that. Like her scalp used to get
Flaky.
It was pretty, like it would be dry, like it would be painful dry.
Almost like cradle cap.
So I helped grease her hair a few times, but I think now as she's getting older, it seems to be like
Taming of the...
taming itself. I don't know. Or she's getting better at taking care of it, whatever. As she's gotten older, I've heard her talk about it less, I guess.
Cool.
But he has like, his gets like hands, it gets pretty bad.
Oh,
he gets the glycerin.
Is that like that really heavy lotion?
It's in food too. It tastes pretty good. But you can get just glycerin and put it on your hands, and it's like a super moisturizer.
Oh, okay, very cool.
Yeah. So if you're out there and you're like, I'm dry to where lotion isn't even helping, look for glycerin. It's glycerin.
I think Gabby has.
You can get it in a bottle at Walmart for like $5, and it's like a big.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think Gabby gets it on her, not extreme, but she gets a little bit on her arms.
Yeah.
Like not her elbow. Like
I think it was on her side too, didn't she? We talked about that one time.
Yeah, I think she gets it like right in the arms area.
Yeah.
So I think she uses a stronger, that's not the right word, but like a heavier lotion, whatever the word is. But yeah. But damn, so groupthink. I don't know. I think groupthink ain't a bad thing though. I just think it's the echo chamber. I think the only time groupthink becomes a bad thing is when we turn into like a mob mentality. Kind of like the Capitol storming or, stupid shit like that.
I was just about to say the insurrection. Well, I think that's a fairly modern example of
the Capitol. Yeah.
When, whether you agree with them or not, like
that's mob mentality.
That level of insanity, and you're just feeding each other more and more. Like that's in a lot of ways that was like a very quick cult.
Fuck yeah.
That just seemed to spring up overnight.
They was probably in them Reddit threads and talking shit.
That's probably true. Yeah, that's probably
riled
true.
The fuck up.
Yeah.
We're gonna go storm that bitch.
Yeah.
Like, sit y'all dumb ass down.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Is it though? That's groupthink.
But it's so crazy.
That they actually tried it?
Yeah.
You think so?
No, because the problem is our country is not gonna. It's not going to stay the superpower forever.
No, probably not in our lifetime.
I mean, in our lifetime will be fine, but and probably the next 2 or 3 generations will be fine too. But
I mean, every civilization folds eventually. Yeah, and then you start another one. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it won't be. Yeah, it definitely won't be in probably our kids' lifetime, but eventually, yes.
Right after that, though.
Maybe not 100 years, but about 250.
Definitely great-grand. Great-grand niece. She about to fuck this shit up for everybody.
Do you think that'd be individual thinking or the fault of groupthink?
I think it's going to be groupthink disguised as individualism.
How would that work?
Sort of like the insurrection.
What is the insurrection exactly?
They stormed the Capitol.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Oh,
January 6th, insurrection of the Capitol.
Oh, I didn't know there was a nomenclature for it. I thought it was just,
insurrection is what they did.
Okay. Oh, the act of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was like more like being what's the plural or the action of being a traitor?
Insurrection.
Is that what that means? Oh, okay.
It's not a positive term.
No, I kind of figured that much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was real stupid. But anyway, damn, not the word.
Yeah. I'm glad that it wasn't swept under the rug, though.
A couple people got off. A lot of the main guys, they got not pardoned, but
money.
yeah,
Money.
That's the funny thing.
Here's what's funny. Ironic. Go ahead. You say it because I think you're going to say the same thing.
You got money and you complaining about the government. Poor people supposed to be complaining and storming the Capitol.
Yeah, just preaching to the idiots. Oh, listen,
the less fortunate are supposed to storm the Capitol.
There were people there getting government checks. Storming the Capitol.
So tired of this government assistance. This is bullshit.
I'm like, the government's taking care of these people. They're just laying on their couch. How much was on your check? Well, that ain't the point. Shh. Like, girl, shut up and sit down.
That's your white people.
Yes.
Well, no black people out there.
No. Well, there was two. There was a few on camera, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots. The fuck y'all doing out there with them crazy white people? Shit.
You know we don't fuck with the white people.
Not them white people. Not them white people.
Yeah, I'm surprised they let them come.
That's the weird thing. We ain't gonna go down this rabbit hole. So individualism.
Well, I mean, it's like cults. Cults are a good example of groupthink, sort of.
Following an individual.
You're following an individual who's telling you, that this is the way.
But those people are looking for something to belong to. And I think that's why they're susceptible to that shit. What I do?
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I just think it stretches further than that, but that's my opinion.
How so? I'm going to grab a beer. Go.
Well, a lot of cults are rooted in some sort of religious affinity.
Okay. Or at least masked by it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you think like when I was growing up, I went to church.
Yes, sir.
Every day the same week.
You didn't want to kill yourself
every
with
2 or 3
other people?
Well, I went 2 days a week.
I did too. No, I went 2 days, but probably 3 times a week. Sunday morning, Sunday evening, and Wednesdays.
Same.
Yeah.
So 3 visits a week. Sorry. You're good. And we all stand up. We all sing from the same book. We all sit down. We all read the same book.
Yes.
I mean,
it does give cult vibes.
Well, when you think about it in that way, like, in a lot of ways, religion can be
cultish.
Can be a dangerous groupthink.
Yeah.
If you all are sitting there just saying the same stuff to each other over and over again, to me, that's sort of what I hated about church.
I mean, think about it. The Bible or religion was used to justify slavery. That's groupthink like a motherfucker.
Yes,
just saying.
Yes,
if you know, you know.
Unequally yoked.
Yes. But I mean, the Pledge of Allegiance always felt very cultish to me in school.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it is, but it was very...
Have you ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Of course. I've seen all the cartoon, the movie.
Do you know when he goes to the Fire Nation?
Yeah. Very cultish.
And I think there's even twice where he like speaks up and he's like, I actually was there.
Right.
And then he has to go, oh shit, I can't tell you about I was there.
I was born 200-300 years ago. Yeah, I just was frozen.
You're like, no, that's not what happened. I was literally standing there. And
y'all
like,
are savages.
How do you know? And we're like, never mind. My grandfather told me. I'm just kidding.
It can come.
But I mean, there are a lot of these backwoods churches, especially like they're drinking snake venom and they're doing all. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like they're doing
all in the name of Jesus.
The Westboro Baptist Church who would protest military funerals because they thought the military supported the queers.
Especially then, they definitely didn't. There was
you know what I'm saying? But that
joining.
church was this group think where they just said the same stuff to each other day in, day out.
So do you think most people are susceptible to groupthink?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, I think we all are. I think I am too. I'm not taking myself out of that equation. I think I'm just as susceptible as anybody else.
Have you ever been a victim of groupthink? Even if something mild.
I would have to really think about it. I'd have to get back to you on that one. But I mean, I'm sure that there's something where I was like, oh, that's fucked up. That is fucked up. We should stop doing that. That's fucked up.
Okay, let me give you a very playful example. Would us starting a podcast be kind of groupthink of that's the cool thing to do? Or because we just did it, this is us hanging out.
When we started, though, it was not cool.
Well, podcasting has been around for 10 years. Are we?
Aren't we?
No, COVID was 20.
Oh, we're post-COVID? Sorry,
2020.
Did we start 2021?
Yeah, the beginning of 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess because we weren't really. I think for me, the podcasts that I listen to don't really have anything to do with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if I could find several podcasts that just repeated what each other were saying.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think when we started one, it was really just
shooting the shit. Just
let's have fun and see if anybody else out there thinks like we do and want to listen to it. Listen to us bullshit for an hour.
Okay, because I think that's, and I'm not going to go all the way down this rabbit hole, but I think that's become a groupthink thing to do a podcast or do.
Well, but I think it's do a podcast to evoke change. We're not trying to change anything.
No, hell no.
I'm just talking to you.
Yeah, you all
if
just get to hear
enjoy,
it.
that's great.
Yeah, we are having a conversation. Y'all get to eavesdrop.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it really started at my kitchen table.
Yeah.
It was kitchen table talk, literally at a kitchen table.
Yeah.
I mean, we're now in chairs, but we're still at kitchen table talk.
All right. We have a table right here. You just can't see it.
I wouldn't mind the return to the kitchen table. Not that one specifically.
I was about to say, we don't have access to it.
But I bet we could figure something out.
Knock on the door. Hey, can we borrow this for like an hour?
We could. You know what? Honestly, they would let us set up in where it is.
Would they really?
Oh, absolutely. They'd be like, yeah, come over whenever.
Yeah, but they might be home. They'd be like, what the fuck y'all talking about?
It's on a different level of the house.
The table itself?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's downstairs?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Okay, we'll figure it out.
We could look.
Yeah. What the hell are him and that black dude talking about?
They love you. They love everybody. Like, I think that's sort of an interesting thing. Like, sometimes, like, not to take it to the race card, but like, sometimes I think, like, sometimes it crosses my mind that my mom was a junior in high school when her school was desegregated.
She's a junior in high school.
Junior in high school. My dad's the same way. Junior in high school. When their schools were desegregated. Because, you know, it sort of went in waves and pockets. Yeah. But their specific schools, because they're both from the OG county, they went to different high schools, but, you know, the county runs the schools. They were desegregated both my parents' junior years.
That'd be weird as fuck.
My cousin, I was told, cried.
Because they desegregated?
Because they desegregated.
How was your cousin?
5 years younger than my mom.
The fuck was he scared of?
So he would have been, what? Let's say if she was a junior, that's 11th grade. 5 years later, 5 years
grade,
was 6th grade. So he would have been, I don't know if they had middle school then.
Yeah.
Because middle school's a newer concept, newer, like, not that new, but.
Newer for them, not us.
Newer for my county. I was the first 6th grade class of my middle school.
Oh, well, middle school is its own thing, not the concept of the grades. Right. Yeah. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, we have middle school. I went to oddly enough, I went to 2 elementary schools, 3 high schools, but I went to the same middle school all 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
My middle school.
I almost didn't make it out of middle school, bullshitting
They
around.
built it my 5th grade year.
Oh, okay, and then it was ready.
So my grade and the next 2, we were the first 3
middle schoolers.
That's cool. At that middle school.
Very cool.
Nobody before, like my sister didn't go to middle school.
What was it called before they called it? Was it secondary school?
No. My elementary school was K through 8.
Oh, okay.
And then when they built the middle school,
there was no through 8.
Let's see, there was, I don't want to name the schools, but there was, so 4 elementary schools combined into a middle school.
Oh,
that year.
I do understand the concept of middle school because there is a difference. And then we
combined again with another school for high school. And then when I graduated 8th grade, that very next year, they included the other school into the middle school.
Okay.
So you met every single person that you were going to go to high school with, you met them in 6th grade.
Damn.
Whereas my group was the last group to have a middle school and then meet our counterparts at high school as a 9th grader.
Oh, there you go. Because I will say I do understand the point of elementary, middle, and high school. Because to me, there is a very big difference between a first grader and an eighth grader.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they waited because my 5th grade year, I was the water boy for the basketball team. And if it would have happened before then, I would have had to wait until I got to middle school.
Gotcha.
Like now, they're having such a hard time finding kids to play sports nowadays.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Over the last few years, that now, I want to say in my area, this may be different in other areas, but in my area, you can play on the sports team in 6th grade.
On the high school team?
On the middle school team.
Oh, C team.
What does that mean?
The way our schools here work is C team is like one tier below JV. And you could be on there if you're in middle school or 9th grade. And pretty much it's been a long time. I think that's how that works.
Yep.
And then JV is 9th and 10th. And you can't be in middle school to play JV. Okay. And then varsity is typically 11th and 12th, but if you're good enough in 9th and 10th, you could play varsity. I think. It's been a long time.
I'd be interested to know if that's still the case because
I don't know about now.
In my area, it's 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. You're
JV?
the middle school team.
Well, I think that kind of means the same thing as C team.
And then there is
JV.
If there's enough, there's a JV and a varsity at high school.
Right.
But there's not like for girls basketball, there's not enough at the high school to have a JV, to have a full JV and a full varsity. I think they tried. I don't know if they're still doing this. I don't think so. But now my nieces, my 2 older nieces, one of them doesn't play, and the older niece, she's been on the varsity the whole time. I think her first year, they tried to do like, we'll have a JV and a varsity.
And some of the players play both. Yeah.
Some of them play both. I think you could, if you were 9th and 10th, you could go down to JV and play up to varsity.
But if you're 11 and 12,
you couldn't be a senior and go to play JV.
Right. That means you suck.
Well, not even. It wasn't even it was an age thing.
Right. Oh,
JV was literally you had to be in 9th or 10th grade.
Right, because JV is junior varsity.
It wasn't a skill.
Oh, it was? Okay. It was an age thing. Okay.
If you moved up to varsity, that was skill based.
Oh, okay. That's kind of how ours was, but a few of them were. For the most part, if you played varsity as a underclassman, you really didn't play JV because that means you were good enough to be on varsity. For the most part,
numbers wise,
y'all need more people.
Yeah. But now I think they just don't even have a JV team. They just have because the other schools were having just as much issue, and they're like, "Why don't we just do a varsity?"
Oh, gotcha. And then if you suck, you're just at the end of the bench.
If in the future we have enough numbers that we can break it back down, great. But if not, till then, we'll just all have a varsity girls basketball team.
Gotcha. Okay, I can do that.
But yeah, my understanding is it's happening everywhere. They're having a hard time finding kids.
Not around here. These fuckers
to
they
invest
playing the shit out of some football. Well, maybe not basketball.
Depends on what the sport is.
They're all in.
Football team is still. I mean, the football in our area. I mean, it's still the majority sport.
That's how it is down here in Texas.
But
I mean, this is a big ass
stupid game. Sorry, I mean no offense because I know you enjoy it, but it's such.
I love it. We have one more calendar month, and then next month football will start. The very end of it, but still. Oh, so excited.
Oh, the end of the okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, the very end.
Interesting.
But I'll take it.
Well, you've been going to the bar anyway.
Well, yeah, but I mean, ain't no football to watch.
Oh.
I go less now because I'm not going to go and drink up a bunch of shit and just stare at the TV. But I did go watch a couple fights, which were good. And
I think that's also dumb.
Fighting? Combat sports?
I think that's also dumb.
It's very carnal or primal. Groupthink, baby.
Well, in ancient Rome, they were fighting because they were slaves.
Yes,
and it was for the entertainment of the people.
It's still for entertainment.
Now, but
if you think about it, most combat fighters come from impoverished backgrounds.
You're probably right.
No, I mean seriously.
I don't know though.
Not all.
I would think now.
Manny Pacquiao was super poor and homeless.
I would think now though, because it costs money to go to these places to learn how to box.
Okay.
And to learn how to fight, because you almost have to have money to even get to the place.
Well, I think now, I might be wrong, don't quote me. I think now it's more of it's gotten to a generational point. Like Muhammad Ali obviously was not rich starting off, but his daughter boxed, Layla Ali. So she comes from money.
She's very pretty too.
Very. And so she's not boxing out of financial necessity. See what I'm saying? Or I'm trying to think of something like Floyd Mayweather. I think his dad was a boxer, if I'm not mistaken. I know that his dad was his
Daddy
trainer.
Daddy Mayweather.
Right, but I don't think he was rich. I don't think he grew up rich.
Yeah, but he had some level of access.
Yes, there you go. It's almost similar to certain sports like golf and tennis and things that are predominantly white sports. When black folks join and participate and excel, it ain't a bunch of us because the access to those sports, the access to entry is a little bit higher than basketball. I can get you a $10 basketball. I can get you a $10 football. Y'all can throw it in the backyard. And you can play it at school.
Yeah.
The average person can't run and go get a set of golf clubs.
Still now.
Yeah,
the average YT person can't go get a golf club.
That's like I could afford golf clubs, but I'm not going to buy any golf clubs because I'm not wasting my money on that shit.
Yeah.
But my uncle, when we all left out Saturday, that morning they went to play golf. I said, "Uncle, you brought your golf clubs? You gonna rent some?" He opened doors like, "I got them, nephew." I was like, "God damn." All right, well, you can have these expensive ass golf clubs, but that point of entry, even as a grown ass man, them golf clubs ain't cheap.
Yeah. The city that I used to live in, they had not too far from where I used to live, they had a public golf course.
You could rent the clubs?
I think so.
I wonder how much it costs. You probably don't know, but
I never went. I just saw the signs.
I do Top Golf, that's all. And putt. Back in
Top Golf be fucking my back up, but it's fun. It can be fun.
It is. Yeah. It's fun. You don't drink, but adding the alcohol makes it fun.
Yeah. There's something about
drunkenness is swinging metal
clubs being swung by drunken idiots. It's not my favorite.
I'll do it any day.
Yeah.
We should go play Top Golf.
Okay.
We'll figure out a day. For real.
Yeah.
I haven't been in a while, though.
I've got a list of what we talk about we're going to do on this podcast that we've yet to do. I'll add it to the list.
We shall. We both work a lot, and then,
Trips.
Who?
Trips.
Ain't no more. I got one more next month. Lord.
Okay. Is this to
Disney World? Yes.
Oh, this is the biggie.
Yeah.
Well, did you make it? Did you raise enough funds?
I've robbed enough Peters and paid enough Pauls, yes. And I get paid the day before the trip. So, and it's a three check month next month, thankfully.
I thought this was one. Somebody said there was 5 weekends in June.
Well, not our paydays.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, like we get paid the second. Well, I get paid a day early, so technically the first. But the first. I'm probably fucking the dates the 13th or 14th, and then there's like one on like the 29th or 30th.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and the trip is on the 2nd. So I get paid the day before the trip. So that'll help supplement whatever I didn't ball out on in these last 2 trips. Lord.
Yeah. That's it. They add up quick.
Fuck these kids.
Choices.
And then school
Did you like my choices that I sent you?
Yes. And then school starts the day after I get back.
Jesus bless it.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is do the cheap way out. I'm going to get all 3 of my kids' school clothes, a minimal amount to make them through the week. And then I get paid again. And we get some more outfits on that next check. But it'll get them to the preceding check, the following check. Fuck these kids.
That's a lot.
Yes.
I'm glad that I don't have them.
Yeah. I'm of the mindset, this is individualism. You know how people be like, man, I wouldn't trade my kids for the world. I wouldn't trade my kids for the world either. But in a perfect world, I'd only have one. I will say that. I wouldn't trade my kids, but financially.
Do I know which one?
I don't know which one, to be honest.
Okay.
I honestly don't.
Interesting.
My oldest is my favorite.
I sort of had a feeling of which one I thought you'd go for.
Financially.
I had narrowed it down to 2. One and a possible, really.
Yes.
I felt pretty strong in my one, but the possible, I had a few reasons why you might pick the possible.
Well, that one is my favorite. I like all of them for different reasons, but this one is my favorite. I don't know. The first one that's the one.
That's the first one.
All jokes aside.
Yeah. I think my sister's the favorite too.
Well, I'm my mom's favorite, and everybody knows my sister's my dad's favorite. So, and I'm the first by 4 years.
Listen,
1 hour.
We snuck
minutes.
Daddy in here just in the nick of time.
No, I'll give you one more thing about him, and then we get the fuck out of here. He texted me a couple weeks ago. I was like, "Hey, when somebody writes,
oh my God, really quickly, hold on, sorry, we never talked about Father's Day."
Oh, I told you.
On here. No. We text about it. You sent me a screenshot,
yes,
and
sir.
I peed myself with laughter.
He did what he always did, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, bro.
He said, "Thanks. I love you, Dad."
Yeah.
And kept it moving.
Kept right on moving.
It's the usual. I think next year I'm just gonna buckle down and not send shit. But anyway, no, he texted me a couple weeks ago and was like, "Hey, if somebody," I'm paraphrasing like a motherfucker, but something to the effect of, if somebody writes UGH like in a text or an email, I can't remember which one it was. What does that mean? Like, he was trying to understand the context of it. And I said it's like sarcasm or frustration. Yeah. And I explained it based on the sentence he sent me, and then he never wrote back.
Daughter to father, daughter to father.
He's like, "Thank you for being efficient, answering my question, son. I shall not say thank you." Essentially. Ask me a question, I answered it. No thank you, no good looking out, brah.
Left on red.
Yes, pretty much. He has an Android, so that's why he acts like that. So, you ready to get the fuck out of here?
Oh my God.
Groupthink, baby.
Listen, thanks for watching here on YouTube. If you are Nosey with Good Intentions, we'd love to hear from everybody.
We would.
noseyWithGoodIntentions@gmail.com. That way it gets to both of us.
Yes, and luckily I was not running on fumes today. So sorry about last week.
No yawns.
I had 2 in the beginning.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I missed him. I didn't see
but
him.
no, I was like dying last week.
Where you fell asleep for like a split second.
Yeah, I was like, I'm awake. Those were good intentions.
Woke up here long enough to be like, let's get the fuck out of here.
I'm like, Autobots? And that's all I had.
We also have Instagram, Nosey with Good Intentions.
Yes.
Would love to hear from you on there as well.
I would like Kirk to start checking it. He never checks it anymore. You know.
One day we're going to talk about what actually goes on in there.
No, we're not. Nothing lately.
I have no business being in there because none of that is for me.
Nothing lately. Hottest of messages.
If you're listening, hey, thanks for listening. Hope you've enjoyed our voices. Make sure whatever podcast interface you're listening on, which I believe we're on all of them.
Yeah. We're like even on Amazon.
Make sure you subscribe.
Google Podcast. I don't know who actually uses those apps, but
I'm sure somebody does.
Yeah, but why? When you can use Spotify or
to
Apple
be an individual.
Oh yeah. Even though you're still on there with it, bless you. Even though there's still a group of people on that one also. There is no. I don't think you can truly be an individual. Like, I don't think you can.
I think your dad's an individual.
Yeah, he marches the beat of somebody else's drum that don't exist.
I don't think he's an individual either. I think he's just like a bunch of other people that I know.
Curmudgeon ass wipes.
Sure, we'll go with that.
That's fine. But I don't think you can truly have individualism.
I think at this point, there's so many of us.
But even, you got to think.
Whatever. It's sort of like the kink community.
Oh, like sexual kinks.
Yeah. Like a lot of those people feel very alone. And when we were growing up,
they were alone.
You were alone. Like,
at least it's like in your mind.
It's very possible that there was nobody in your town that
was into that
liked what you liked.
Right. Now that you have.
But with the invention of the internet, I think now we're realizing there really is no individual.
Yeah. We all nasty as fuck. It is what it is.
Well yes, to a certain extent, but also like, if you...
We always ready.
If you're the vanilla of the vanilla, there's a group for you.
Yeah.
If you are the chocolate of the chocolate, there is a group
like
for
a
you.
Little chocolate on your chocolate. I don't know. Ew.
If you scat,
What's scatting? Boo boo? Ew, no thank you. I'm not in that group.
There's a group for you.
There is, though.
I told you when I was on the dating apps, there was that guy that was started talking about wanting me to urinate on him.
My cousin's done it.
And I said, that seems like a lot of work.
To pee?
Well, because you had to listen, there was a whole system.
Oh, it wasn't like in the shower?
No. There was a whole system of like, I had to drink a certain amount of water. There was a certain amount of, like, he had it down to a science.
Oh, like, bro, go find something to do.
And I went, that sounds like a lot of work. I think you should probably find somebody else. No judgment.
I ain't got to pee that bad.
I'm happy for you, and I'm happy that you're so aware of your desire.
How do you find
that you have found a whole system that works for you.
Certain kinks, I don't judge any. Yes, I do. I judge some. Like,
but he was here. And I went, that's a lot of work for my 3 days a week that I'm down here.
I'll put it this way. Those who eat feces and sexual stuff, how do you discover that you like some of these things? That's the only question I always wonder.
I do, but listen
how
really
do you
quickly.
Know you like
listen, this is why you have to listen to the very end.
Yes.
So Jimmy Carr.
Who?
He's a comedian and from Great Britain.
Okay.
So funny.
Okay.
Listen, if you're looking to laugh, Jimmy Carr is so
this
funny.
Might be
I've listened to him for years. But one of his specials, he talks about there is a while we're in the moment, I want you to fart on my balls. And he goes, how do you think they discovered that?
On accident.
It starts with a happy accident, and now you're like, how do I ask for that?
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. It's a happy accident.
And how do you ask for it?
But I'm like, when did you eat poop? How did you accidentally eat poop? I just don't. There's a reason that it is called waste.
Yeah, solid waste.
With the pee, here's the thing. If Only came home and was like, I really want you to pee on me, sure. Why not? I don't know if I'm going to find any joy out of it, but if you find joy out of it, I will find joy in it.
I'll figure it out.
Because it brings a joyful noise to you.
Joyful, we adore thee. Whew. I don't know if Sister Act 2 can cover for that one, but you know.
Hearts unfold like flowers before thee.
Fill us with the light of day.
Fill us with the light of day.
That's
light
such a good movie.
Day.
Hey, is it on Netflix or Hulu? They just brought it back out. That's on one of them. I'm watching maybe. I just watched the newest. Not the newest, Lord. All 3 episodes of movie. All 3. I watched all 3 Back to the Futures. Damn, I couldn't spit that out. We'll talk about it when we get done, but I get why people think those are classics. Those are really good movies. All 3, I watched them back to back to back. Sorry, let's get the fuck out of here. My bad, y'all.
Yeah, that was good. Oh, man.
Fill us with the light of day.
Light of day. Listen, I used to know the whole dance and everything.
That movie was fire.
I couldn't sing it, though. I don't have that voice.
It's better than the first one.
Who was the guy? He had a beautiful voice.
That's the guy from that group. A trio. They were supposed to be like the new Fugees. They were produced by Wyclef, and what's the name of their group? Fuck. Yeah, he was in a group with 2 other people. They were supposed to be the new Fugees. They were produced by Wyclef, and then both of the guys had at different times dated the female of the group, and it kind of fucked it all up. City High.
No.
What can I do for you?
The fuck? See what happens when you have an SIRI speaker in your man cave? Anyway, let's get the fuck out of here before she keeps talking.
City High?
Yeah.
No, he was not in that group.
Yes, he was. The guy who had the little the black Muslim turban.
No way.
I'll show you as soon as we get done. Literally, I'll pull it up while you close.
There's no.
I swear to God.
Okay, comment below if that's true.
Yeah, I'm correct.
Here's why I say that.
Yes, sir.
Do you know the song from City High that was so popular?
I'm about to pull that up.
What would you do if your son was at home crying
He's in
all
that
alone?
group. The dark-skinned guy with that stupid little...
Then why did they just let the girl sing?
I don't know.
That's why your group broke up. City High, if you're watching this...
Chase Mines, her Punani. Both of the guys.
Your group did not go anywhere because you only let the girl sing. He has a beautiful voice.
All 3 of them can sing.
Why on earth? He rapped. Why would you rap when you can sing? No offense. Why would you only rap if you have that great of a voice?
Not everybody's cut to be the singer.
And no offense to her, but there's 10 Melanies waiting to be right behind her. Like, there was nothing about her voice that was like, this is the voice of a
trash,
generation.
but yeah, it wasn't like a Whitney or a Mariah or a Beyonce, yeah.
Or a Rihanna. Like, Rihanna can't really sing, but she's got her own sound.
Yeah.
Whoa. Anyway, thank you for listening. We're not done yet, though. Was that all of them? We have a TikTok, Nosey with Good Intentions. We also have Snapchat, Nosey Podcast, or whatever you have Michael saved as in your phone. Could be joyful, we adore thee.
That'd be fine.
Or joyful, we abhor thee. We also have something else that I get. Oh, Nosey Good. Send us on out.
Thank you for listening to our Nosey Nonsense.
See you next time.